Today I went to go see Billie Eilish at Coachella, but before she came on, there was this dude wearing a big sparkly onesie who opened for her that kept staring at me, and I was thinking to myself, what's up, do you have a staring problem, buddy? But anyways, he did a little dancey dance thing, and Shrek was in the audience and seemed to love it. But his cameraman kept getting in the way and then turned to me, and the next thing I knew, rewind that. He put me on the big screen, and I freaked out and went behind the cameraman and started unplugging random cables from his camera, and it turned off the video on the screen. But anyways, then Billie Eilish came on and kept invading my personal space and staring at me, and I was like, dude, celebrities never get taught that staring is rude? Why are you yelling at me? But then she did her little dancey dance and left the stage, and I took a golf cart home from Coachella, and when I woke up the next morning, I checked my phone to see a DM from Billie herself asking if I was at her show with a winky face. And I replied, no, silly Billie, here's a restraining order, leave me alone. And I went back to bed. Every day I bike past this fenced-off neighborhood near me that's radioactive from a nuclear meltdown. But today I decided to explore it, so I went through a gap in the fence, and after walking for about 10 minutes, I got to this mysterious door in the middle of nowhere, so I did a little knock and let myself in and closed it behind me to be polite to the radiation. Anyways, I went down the stairs and saw, some interesting artifacts that I was not exactly a fan of. And I continued through the bunker and found a very inviting door that made me feel super safe, which led to more stairs that had my knees cracking like Rice Krispies. Anyways, I eventually got to this tunnel and some doors at the end of it that said, danger, do not enter. But I went in because my middle name is Danger. Just kidding, it's Emil. And after I went through the door, it closed behind me and I tried everything but couldn't open it up because it was locked. So I decided to look around and see what my grave location was gonna look like, thinking maybe it's a movie theater or a game room. And I turned the lights on to see that it was an actual nuclear missile silo where they held the nukes. And it went 100 feet down, and now this is where I live, I guess. And my phone is now on 1% uploading this TikTok. So if you see this, that's the last time you're gonna... I wanted to go to Chili's today, but it was burning down, so instead, I went to go get sushi. But it was one of those places where it comes on a conveyor belt and you can take what you want, except for this piece of shrimp that refused to cooperate and wouldn't release. But it's okay, because they also have a screen you can order from, so I ordered myself some crispy rice, and it zoomed by faster than I could say, no, officer, I had nothing to do with the Chili's burning down. Anyways, then I saw these nasty cubes that look like Minecraft gravel, and I lost my appetite. So I put all the plates down the chute since I was done with them, when I wondered, what's actually in there? And it said, please don't insert hands or objects, but what did I do? Hit record on my phone and insert it into the slot, which was really smart because then I dropped it down into the chute and had to call over a waiter in shame, and he told me that non-plate items go out the garbage chute around back. So I went down this creepy corridor and finally found it, and when I grabbed my phone and sat down to check what footage I had recorded, I saw... I was cleaning my room today when I found out that I just hit 10 million followers. And to celebrate, I wanted to give each and every one of you $1. Now, I don't have $10 million, but you know who does? The bank. So I went over there and had the idea to R to the O to the B it, but quickly realized that I get too anxious simply going to Starbucks and ordering for myself without nearly peeing my pants. So walking into a bank to commit a crime is kind of out of the question. So my second idea was to make an Ed Sheeran disguise that is so convincing it looks like a deep fake. So I taped it to my face, and I used this simple hack that works on any ATM machines, where you can type in the number of the address where the ATM is, like 900 for example, and then it'll think it's undergoing maintenance and spit out all its cash. So I tried it, and boom, I suddenly had $20,000. And I stopped at each and every ATM, punching the code, getting racks, when I remembered they have security cameras, and even though I was disguised as Ed Sheeran, I wanted to be safe, so I gently disconnected the camera from the ATM and put it on the ground. And for the rest of the night, I'd never felt more alive, single-handedly taking down the greedy banks to steal from customers every single day. I was calculated, unstoppable, careful. And I did it all right under the police's noses. It became addicting. Every single ATM was like a new hit. And the money? Well, it was endless. Ed Sheeran had to go on live TV to say he wasn't the thief. And I had gotten away with it. Oh, wait, just kidding. They actually got me. Well, at least I still have money for bail, and I still have 10 million of you guys. Today I was in my car when I saw that the Amish were doing a pop-up shop, so obviously I had to go check it out because I don't believe that they're real. And when I pulled up to Simply Amish, I put my mask on because I don't want to give the entire colony the plague or something. And when I walked in, the employee was on a computer, and I was like, that's strange, not even supposed to have electricity. But I was walking around, and at first it seemed like a really expensive furniture store, and I was like, damn, these Amish are gonna be ballin'. But then I came across this door that was half open, which led to this scary basement that had all of these artifacts and paintings of Jesus, and then randomly a Rick and Morty Chia Pet, and some cards that I don't think are Amish appropriate, and then a Queen's Gambit board game, which... wouldn't that just be chess? Anyways, I felt the need to buy something so the Amish don't steal my organs. I got one of those popping toys where you put it on the ground and... Anyways, when I paid and got the bag, I noticed they slipped a key in it with a note saying, "Need escape?" And then some coordinates, which I looked up online and found out they lead to their colony. So I think they tried recruiting me, and let me know if I should drive up there and join them. Today, I snuck an AirTag tracking device into an Ed Sheeran concert so that I could somehow stick it onto him to track him down, because that's for the FBI to know. Anyways, randomly BTS opened for him, and then Eddie was about to come on stage, so I had the genius idea to use an extra mask and fashion it into a slingshot so that when he performed, I walked up to the front of the stage, locked onto my target, and bam! It flew through the air. And now I know there's no way of it sticking to him. However, they have to pack up the stage, and it's probably gonna travel with him. So anyways, I saw Doja Cat and Lil Nas X, and then left the concert and went home. Then the next morning, I was getting a reading on the AirTag finder, and it said that he was in Las Vegas. So I flew to Las Vegas, and when I got to the airport, I thought I had already found him, but the thing is, I had a little bit of spicy grape juice on the plane, so I stumbled over to the man and shouted, "Ed!" And it was just a random man. So, yeah. I can only fall asleep to loud noises, so tonight I played some mukbang videos on full volume. And I also tried blasting that one girl who goes, "Ah," in all of her songs, and I was about to go to sleep like a baby when I heard a banging at my door, and I realized it was probably my insane neighbor who was literally named Karen. But when I got up and put clothes on and walked down to the door, there was nothing but an envelope that said, "Use these." So I brought it inside and opened it up, and she had sent me her nasty, crusty, earwax-covered AirPods that smelled like Fritos. And at first I was like, this is a human rights violation, and I'm probably diseased now. Until I saw the opportunity to suit up in a hazmat suit and rinse the brain caca off of them so that they look new, and then I could sell them to someone in my neighborhood for a profit. So I made a listing for like $150, and this one dude said he would buy it if I could meet him by the nuclear waste runoff. So I Ubered over there, and when I got there, I saw a bunch of money just sitting under some leaves, and I was like, that's not the safest way to do a transaction, but regardless. I woke up at 4 a.m. to borrow some of my roommate's peanut butter today, but when I opened it up, I saw he's been scooping it out the jar in a really strange way, which is really inefficient because there's just more surface area for it to dry out. But anyways, I wanted to make a peanut butter and spray cheese sandwich, but I felt like it needed some raspberries, so as I was taking the bread out of the fridge, I knocked out the raspberries. But I believe in the 5-minute rule instead of the 5-second rule, so I scooped them up and assembled my delicious sandwich, and I added the raspberries and a nice little squirt of easy cheese, and then I took a big old bite, but I started feeling really funny, and I thought I was having an allergic reaction to the peanut butter. But then I remembered the raspberries were not exactly the freshest, and I just ate an ounce of both. So I grabbed my computer and tried to call poison control, but they were closed because of Thanksgiving, and I was like, damn, I'm really gonna puke my guts out because some white dudes wanted to have a feast after a mass genocide in 1621. So anyways, I decided I should probably write my will, and I opened up my notes app and said all my money in my plant collection and my life-size Zendaya cardboard cutout will go to my dog. Thank you and goodbye forever, I guess. My favorite thing to do right now is guess people's passwords of their social media accounts, because I've actually managed to successfully hack a few accounts. And I also enjoy changing some captions around without people noticing and tagging myself so people think me and Zendaya are besties. So today I managed to log into Shawn Mendes's account, and then I decided to DM some people some pickup lines like Olivia Rodrigo, which might have made me responsible for him and Camila Kabubu breaking up, but anyways, today I wanted to get into Instagram's Instagram account to, I don't know, post a picture of myself or something. And then I remember the guy who owns Instagram is Mark Zuckerberg. So when I tried logging in with a bunch of different passwords and none were working, I realized it kept asking me if I'm not a robot. And since old Marky Poo is a robot, I left it blank, and then boom, I was in, baby. And I was stressed about what I should post to like 400 million people, so I just chose this random picture of me at the beach, and now 500,000 people have liked it. So thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for the validation. So I was completely legally watching a movie today when I won an iPhone 13, and all I had to do was enter my social security number, so I typed it in. And then a week later, while I was blending my candles together to make a mega candle, I got a notification that a package was delivered. So I ran downstairs to grab it, and the packaging was a little strange, but I cracked open the box, which apparently was for the iPhone 14. And then when I opened up that box, they had sent me a toy car, and I was like, I know I didn't just give away my identity for a Hot Wheel. Then I realized it's actually a phone, so I decided to hang up on the 911 operator that I had panic called, and I checked out my new phone, and it was pretty cool until I realized it was a used phone. And I think the previous owner was someone's grandma, because I saw in her text she wasn't just having booty calls, but a whole booty conference. Now, I didn't want this phone anymore after going into the images and seeing Granny's Milkies, so I picked it up one last time and checked her contact section and noticed she had her address on there. So I grabbed the phone and biked over to her house, which happened to be only an hour away. And when I got there, Granny is on her Jeff Bezos type beat. So I decided to put my name in her contacts, and then I threw the phone over the fence, and I'll let you know if I slide. So I was watching my local 7-Eleven burn down today when I saw a shirt or something in the bushes. And when I walked over, I saw it was a Walmart employee uniform that someone just left there. So I decided to try it on, even though it had a stain on it that looked like, milk. But that's when I got the idea to go to Walmart and see how long it would take them to notice that I don't work there. And I was just walking around in Walmart as a fellow employee. So the first thing I did was give myself a good employee discount on a few things I found. And then I was looking for something to do when I saw the phone for announcements just sitting there. And I was super nervous, but I picked it up and said, "Attention shoppers, everything is free for the next hour." And then I hung up and panicked and tried to find a getaway. And I saw the employees only area. So I went inside and it led me to an elevator, which eventually led me out the main entrance. And when I finally made it out of there, the security was outside with its flashing lights. So I quickly took off my uniform, threw it in the bushes, and ran. I woke up today and decided to go to Claire's to get my ear pierced because I saw they're doing it free if you give them your organs. So I walked in and I picked my piercing and then signed away the rights to my kidneys. And then they marked the ear that I wanted pierced, and then boom, they legally stabbed me. But anyways, I went home and I was so excited to take off my mask and see it, and they had pierced the mask string into my ear hole. And I started freaking out, of course, and needed to get it off. So I tried finding pliers or something, but I grabbed scissors and used them to cut the mask off so it doesn't rip my ear off. And then I looked in the mirror and I thought maybe it looks cool, but it didn't. So I grabbed my computer to try and find the Claire's customer service line so I can sue them. But they closed at 6 p.m. and it was 6:30. So I went to bed and cried myself to sleep. And when I woke up, oh, it was infected. So now I think my ear is gonna fall off in 2 to 5 business days. So please let me know what music I should listen to before I have one ear left. Today I texted my crush that I love her and want a relationship, and I felt like throwing up until she replied with, "I'm in Lisbon." And then she sent the, Portuguese flag, I think. I don't know, I'm not good at geometry. But anyways, I wanted to surprise her, so I booked the next ticket to Lisbon, Portugal. So I packed up my stuff and went to the airport, and it was a 30-hour journey, but it was in the name of love. And when I landed, I realized I should probably get her something as a gift, so I walked into a store and came across these very interesting frozen feet in the freezer section, and I thought, who would want to suck on feet? Oh, me. So I bought them, and opened up the box and ate every last foot. And they tasted like strawberries. I don't know why I was expecting foot flavor. Not that that's what I wanted, but anyways, I got the bright idea to take all the popsicle sticks and make a little fun DIY bracelet out of them with hearts on it. So I did just that, and then the next day, I was gonna give my crush the bracelet. So I went to DM her and asked her to meet up and realized she said I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian. I was scrolling through the deep web when I saw an ad for a GoFundMe to get the Queen an air fryer before she dies. So I went to it and saw no one had donated. So I gave her $5 and went to bed. But when I woke up the next morning, I got an email that it was shut down by GoFundMe. And I knew the Queen still needs an air fryer, so I packed my bags and went to the airport to book the next flight to London to bring her an air fryer that I bought for her. And after 10 hours, I landed and Ben was in the Big Ben. So I took the train to the Buckingham Palace where she lives. But when I got there, they had it gated off and I couldn't go in to see the Queen. So I found another entrance with a flimsy little fence that I slid under, and then I popped over another fence, but that triggered an alarm. So I was running as fast as I could, and I happened to drop the air fryer, but I had to hide, so I managed to find the Queen's quarters and snuck in, and I thought I was safe until I woke up on some cliffs on an island with nothing but a note on my arm that said,
"Please, they won't let me air fry."
"Elizabeth, I will save you." Today, I DoorDashed some cooked goldfish from PetSmart because I was really hungry and they were only $3. So I placed the order and walked over to PetSmart to pick it up. But when I got there, I walked in and found the food pickup section and saw all the soon-to-be sushi swimming around in their little tanks that were right next to the not-so-swimming sushi. And that's when I realized maybe pet store food isn't the best move. But I was still super hungry, so I asked an employee if they have anything else to eat, but she told me if I want to act picky, they have rats for sale. So I opened up the rat fridge and I couldn't do it. So I ended up buying some bugs for like $2, which was such a great and amazing deal. And when I got home, I was so hungry that I ripped open the bag of bugs and just told myself that this little grasshopper in my chopsticks is a Cheeto. So I popped it in my mouth and I felt movement. And I spat it out and it jumped out of the bowl! And I panicked and ran to the toilet. And for the next 3 hours, I vomited up my insides. Today, I threw away all my electronics so I could join the Amish and live a simple life. But after about 10 minutes, I got really bored of harvesting wheat and apples and wanted to watch a good old YouTube video. But I didn't have any devices to watch YouTube on, so I obviously walked over to the YouTube headquarters. And when I got there, I managed to walk right in and I found an empty room with a TV in it so I could watch a few videos from my personal collection. Anyways, after I had cured my boredom, I left the room and raided the YouTube fruit counter and grabbed an orange, an apple, and a DVD copy of the videos I watched. But when I finally got home, I realized I can't play this because I don't have a record player. But I looked around my room and saw an old radio speaker thing and popped the CD in it just so I could listen to the audio and imagine the video in my mind. But when it started playing, it sounded like it was coming from outside my house, and that's when I realized I had it set to broadcast. And I ran outside to see every radio in the vicinity was playing. I was trying to sell my kidneys on the black market when I got an ad for Shein Eats, and apparently they sell food now. So I ordered some Mexican food because I was really hungry. But when it arrived, it came in what looked like a reused tissue box, and it had a fragile sticker, but it was looking more like a burrito bowl at this point. Anyways, I compared it to the picture in the ad, and it looked nothing like it. But the worst part is there was corn in it, and I'm allergic. And I was beyond mad, so I looked at the shipping label, and it said it was shipped all the way from China. So you know what I did? I was on that next flight to China, and after I boarded the plane next to the world's biggest Facebook mom with this suitcase, the food was actually pretty good, a little bit better than Shein's. But anyways, when I landed, I remembered it was the Olympics here in Beijing, so I decided to go to that instead of getting revenge on Shein. Happy Valentine's Day. Aww. Today I went to the movie theater an hour early because I'm half Caucasian and I wanted to see the new Spider-Man for the 30th time. But when I sat down, I noticed that they had QR codes for their overpriced food menus. So I got the intrusive thought to quickly run home and change all the QR codes to moaning sounds. So when I got home, I designed a bunch of fake stickers and printed them off with QR codes so when you scan them, they play this. Anyways, I grabbed the stickers and drove back to the theater and stuck them over the top of the original ones. And as people trickled into the theater and the movie started, and they started scanning the codes for the menu, I suddenly began to hear... And then people would quickly hide their phones and try and turn it off. And it got to the point where they had to stop the movie. So anyways, I left and went for sushi. And when I got there and sat at the table, I noticed that this restaurant also has QR codes for their menu. And I had some stickers left over, so I carefully placed them on top of the old QR codes. And then I looked back at the dude behind me as he scanned his, and... Anyways, my sushi was very delicious, 9 out of 10. I don't know if you've seen those comments on TikTok of beautiful women asking if there are any boys here, but today I remembered I am a boy, so I decided to investigate and saw that she was asking me to go to her bio. So I clicked the link in her bio and it instantly froze my iPad and I couldn't close the app or anything until a thing popped up asking for my phone number and credit card number to fix it. And so obviously I was like, thank God, a solution. So I grabbed my credit card from my wallet and typed it in, but then after I did that, my iPad fully shut off and started smoking. But I was like, okay, thank God they reminded me what my credit card number is. So I went to the Apple store to go replace all my Apple products that are now fried, but I got distracted and tried to make the wallpapers minions kissing, and I played some random rats dancing on all the iPhones. But then an employee yelled at me, so I fled with no iPhone, and now I'm trying to catch a bird so I can use it as a carrier pigeon to talk to people since I have no electronic devices left. Today, I made a New Year's resolution to stop filling up my gas car with diesel just because it's cheaper. Because last time I did that, it started smoking when I was driving back from the gas station and then eventually burst into flames. So I've actually failed my first New Year's resolution because now I have no car to fill up with gas and it's 40 grand to repair the garage from fire damage. But I can't go to the bank because I don't have a car, so I walked in minus 40-degree weather to the car store and bought an electric car with all the money I made selling human organs off the black market. And it's really cute and it looks like a ladybug, and I drove it home and found out I can plug it in with the same charger as my phone. So I grabbed my dog and we went on a little mini road trip for about 47 minutes when my car died because apparently you can't charge a car with a phone charger. So now I'm stranded in the middle of nowhere, genuinely considering eating my Cheez-Its that I brought as a snack while I wait for the tow truck to come, obviously. I was putting my clothes in the dishwasher today because I broke my washing machine when I tried washing dishes in it last week because my dishwasher was broken in the first place. But anyways, I was in the kitchen and heard a snowball hit my window, and when I looked out the window, my elderly neighbor Myrtle had put up a sign that said, check your mail. Now, as threatening as that seemed, I was so excited because her son owns the website where you watch Corn with a P, and in the past, she's given me like $1,000 at Christmas and a cute little picture of herself. So I went to the door and grabbed the card, and when I opened it, I noticed that this time there was no gift, which is fine and all, but also the picture she had sent me had some man's hand in the corner, and on the card there was weird capitalization, so I highlighted the capital letters and it spelled help me, and I started freaking out. So I drove over to her house, which was 50 feet away. Sorry, Greta Thunberg. And I was gonna save her from being choked, but when I got there was a van outside that said 50 Shades of Play, and I think that's what Myrtle's into. So now I'm traumatized. Do you ever wonder how it went down for the first person to ever get their ear pierced? Like, how did that happen? Was it just like What the booga booga?
with your new piercing? Look, we're matching.
What the hell is a piercing? This is a stabbing. No, bitchuga. This is gonna be the next biggest thing in Pangea. Okay, sure, but why my ear? Why not literally any other part of my body? Wooga booga, what do you do? Oh my god, that's literally worse.
Wait, do you want one too?
What? So I bought this doggy camera to spy on my little worm creature, and when I was checking the cameras today, I saw that when she comes through her doggy door, a literal rat has been following her in. And not only that, I caught them canoodling, and I had to shoot a tree to her to break them up so I could go rescue her from Remy the rat in my house not paying rent. Anyways, I was horrified, and ever since, she's been giving me, rabies vibes, the way she's been kind of foaming at the mouth and trying to bite me. So I took her to a discount vet clinic at the back of a dollar store, and they weighed her little fat butt and then put her on the table. And I told them I think she has rabies, and that's when they pulled out 3 humongous needles. And then they took her into the back rooms, and I'm not an anti-vax or anything, but she was screaming so much I was like, bring my girl back. And I grabbed her and brought her home, and now she just has a little bit of rabies, but it's fine because she just likes to give me love bites. So there was this guy on the train today who offered me 100 bananas if I gave him a foot massage with mustard. I didn't do it, obviously, and I'll take a lie detector test to prove it. Okay, I did not give a foot massage to a random person. No! You're gonna give me the bananas, right? Do you ever scroll through Instagram all day like a Cocomelon iPad baby until you see that you're somehow on Christian Mingle and you've matched with the mom from Wizards of Waverly Place? But then when you switch back to Instagram, it's down and you're like, what am I gonna do now? Well, that happened to me, so I thought, well, may as well join the Amish. So I went to their website, which I was surprised they even had in the first place, and I signed myself up and gave them my address and my social security number, which I didn't really know why they needed that, but anyways, later that day someone rang my doorbell and slipped a business card under the door, and when I picked it up, it had a number on it, so I texted the number, and I decided to ask them, so what's it like being in the Amish? And they replied, we are in Spain. And I was like, oh my god, I didn't know they had the Amish in Spain. So you know what I did? I booked the next flight to Barcelona to try and join them. But when I finally got there, I turned my phone off airplane mode and the text came in, and it turns out he actually said they are in pain, not Spain, because they have no electricity, and well, sucks to be y'all, I'm in Spain. Ole, 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 ole. I'm not naming any names, but it'd be a lot of people. A lot of people getting pushed if I was in red light, green light with them. It'd be Today, I went to the airport with a pregnancy test because I want to go to Paris, but to fly there, you need to take a test. However, the website didn't specifically say COVID test, so I thought I'd try bringing a pregnancy test to see what would happen. And if that doesn't work, I also did a DNA test, which told me I'm anemic, which is of no surprise to me because every time I stand up for 2 seconds, Anyways, I pulled up to the airport and pulled out the test, but I remembered what you have to do for a pregnancy test. So I snuck away into the bathroom and looked for an empty stall, and then when I got in, I took out the test and put it under some water instead of pee because I'm not a maniac. And then I waited a bit for the line to show up, and once it said I was negative, I brought it up to the gate and gave them the test and my passport, and they let me on the flight to Paris. And I was like, no way, that actually worked. And then I realized she probably just saw my vaccination card and that's all you need instead of a test. So anyways, I got on my flight and now I'm in Paris. And I got 1 pregnancy test left, so if you're my baby mama whose name rhymes with Yandea, my phone number is 818. I went to Universal Studios today, but when I got to security, I remembered I had a can of spray cheese in my bag, which you can't bring into parks or anything because it's an aerosol, and they're probably scared that I'm gonna, I don't know, like burn down the Minions ride. So I took my bag and went into the alleyway and wrapped it in the label for my Febreze can that I use as deodorant from time to time. And guess what, baby? They never found it when they searched my bag. So anyways, I went on the Minions ride, and as much as I would have loved to set it on fire until it's nothing but smoldering ruins, I had to settle for beating up the Minion in the gift shop. But anyways, after the ride, I realized I was pretty hungry, and I wasn't gonna spend $20 on Harry Potter butterbeer when I can just put butter in my beer myself. So I snuck into the employees only area to eat my spray cheese. And I thought I grabbed the right can when I sprayed it in my mouth, but I accidentally grabbed the Febreze and basically blinded myself. So I asked Siri, call poison control. And she was like,
calling animal control.
And I was like, what? No! And animal control was like, hello, yes, what are you reporting? And I was like, my eyes are burning. And they said, your ass is burning? We recommend Pepto-Bismol. And I knew they weren't gonna help, so I hung up and I made the hard decision to flush my eyes with